I'm unashamedly a Demi Lovato music fan. I mean, at least with Unbroken and then Demi. I haven't really listened to her stuff since then, but I was definitely blasting that in the car and singing along. I attended the online version of South by Southwest this last week, and one of the things that I got to watch was Demi Lovato dancing with the devil. It's free to watch on YouTube, but should you? In raw and intimate interviews, Demi Lovato talks about her addictions, how she almost died, and where she's at now. This is a fairly unfiltered look at Lovato and how she's struggled over the years, finally culminating with her overdose in 2018. This 4-part documentary takes footage from an unused documentary, as well as a ton of new interviews with her friends, family, associates, other artists, and most powerfully, with Lovato herself. There's a point where one of her best friends is like, Are we talking about heroin? Are we doing that? And that is when the story really starts to go deep. This is a tough watch, and not only because we hear the story play out of this young woman who on the outside looked like she had it all together, but also because of the horrors that happened to her that until now, at least to the best of my knowledge, hadn't been disclosed. The way the footage and interviews are pieced together is really engaging. The storytelling is done very well and found a way to keep me totally invested. And even though the content is very heavy, there are some lighthearted moments and areas of hope to offset all that melancholy. It's a 4-part series, and each of those episodes are about 30 minutes, and I really like the interview style that is captured here. You can see a real comfort and trust level with Lovato and the filmmaker, but there's also enough distance to keep the story objective. I didn't ever feel like this was some sort of puff piece or even sort of an image propaganda designed to make Lovato look like something that she's not. In fact, I think it could run the risk of doing the exact opposite. Some of her fans, or really probably their parents, could have some issues with the information that's uncovered. I mean, I found it refreshing, though, to hear from her own mouth the events that unfolded and her mindset that led her there. It's really interesting to hear the impressions and opinions of those closest to Lovato. I mean, not only as they recount the time leading up to the overdose, but also how she is now, her struggles, mindset, successes, and attitudes. As we're led through the timeline of before her overdose, during the aftermath, and then on to present day, we get a good sense of Lovato's outlook and her personality. And the documentary does a good job of keeping her unmasked, even if she tries to hold some things back. But honestly, it doesn't feel like she's holding very much back. There are moments toward the end that I found to be a little sad, but they still have me hopeful for her full recovery. And I really liked the personal wisdom that Elton John shared with her. I believe what he said to be true, but I also have to trust Lovato and hope for her. One thing I'm not sure that is included in the documentary, because it wasn't in the version that I got to see, but then it was teased in the panel with Lovato and the director after the screening, is Lovato's love for the Taco Bell Mexican pizza. Apparently there's a funny story or event that they captured, and just hearing about it made me want to see it. And also have a Mexican pizza, even though they're no longer on the menu. So I'm going to be checking out the YouTube release just to see if there is anything different from the South by Southwest version that I got to watch. This is a pretty quick watch, and for Demi Lovato fans, I'm sure something that is not to miss. I mean, if you're into documentaries and human interest stories, this is also a good one to check out. It's well told, very engaging, and certainly interesting, with a fair amount of heartbreak as well. There's no sex, there might be some brief nudity, a lot of profanity, and descriptions of violence, drug use, and sexual violence. I highly recommend checking out Demi Lovato Dancing with the Devil. It's on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it anywhere. So are you a fan of Demi Lovato? Do you have a favorite song? Let me know what that is in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.